So today we're going to discuss what are all the different methods that we have. Okay, so far we had seen, we have used click method, send keys method, and maybe we have used dot get index. I think yesterday I have shown you like how to use get tag name. Okay, we have many methods in Selenium. And if you know like what are all different methods that we have, how to handle the basic elements like input box, checkbox or radio buttons or drop downs, alerts and pop-ups, how to handle frames and windows, and how to stimulate mouse and keyboard actions. Okay, if you know all of this, then this is it. It's like you're done with automation. Like you should be able to automate anything, because the main thing that you require is you should be knowing like how to identify an element, and second thing is what action you need to perform, or how to deal with the different kinds of web elements. So that is what we have in browser testing, right? So nothing much, irrespective of the domain, whether it is a healthcare or insurance or anything, each and everything you will be having the same set of fields. Like you will be having maybe drop downs or checkboxes, alerts and pop-ups. So if you know how to deal with this, then you should be good with handling any website. Okay, and for each and everything we will write a program, and the same passion we will follow here as well. Okay, now first I will discuss I have categorized them into based on the interactions that we do. Okay, and the first one is browser navigation. Like if I wanted to navigate to some URL, I can use the driver.get that you already aware, but we can also use the navigate method. Okay, so because navigate is providing methods like to particular URL, or to go back, forward or refresh. Very straightforward. Okay, so maybe like here I will have like a browser navigation. Browser navigation example. So I'm going to have a main method, and I'm going to open, I'm going to have the same code like driver equal to new Chrome driver. I'm going to open. Then I would like to maximize this driver.manage dot window dot maximize. Then I would like to navigate to some URL. Okay, maybe I can use the driver dot. Now instead of dot get, I would like to use the navigate. So we have the method called navigate dot to. So it will take us to some method. Okay, so this navigate dot to, I'm going to have it here. Maybe I will copy this demo website and give it here. Navigating to some website here. Okay, then after navigating, I would like to let me open this website as well here. So after this, I would like to after navigate, I would like to click on the login, or I would other way I would say like I can either click on login, or maybe when I click on login, it is taking me to this page, right? Okay, you can directly give this page as well. Sometimes you might need to navigate between different websites. That time you can use directly this URL. So instead of clicking on login, the other way I'm dealing it with this is I'm writing is like driver.navigate to navigate.to of, I can give this URL. So which will directly take me to the, okay, without even clicking. So this could be one of the question, like, how do you navigate to some page, without clicking button? Then you can say like, without using dot click method, then you can say like, I can use the driver.navigate to by giving direct URL, I can go here. Okay. Now from here, I would like to navigate back. So I have the method called navigate.back. So I'm just going to navigate.back, and then again, I would like to navigate forward. Okay. So navigate, if you wanted to go back and again forward, means like, again, it should be on the login page. Okay, and then I would like to refresh. Then you can use the driver.navigate.to, sorry, navigate.refresh. Okay, so just to observe, like, whether all this happened or not, I would like to have a thread.sleep, maybe, after each. That the same way we did to observe. Okay, thread.sleep of 2 seconds, I'm going to give it. And as we did it earlier, I'm going to add exception to the main method. Okay, now this one, I'm going to give it everywhere. So I'm just repeating, like, driver.navigate.to helps us to directly navigate to some page. Then back is to, go back, and forward is to go forward, then refresh. Okay, let me run this quickly and see. See, first it loaded. Even before it is completely loading, it went to the login page, you see. But if you use dot get, that won't be the case. Like, it will wait for this. Okay, it went again. It went into the login page again, went back again, forwarded, then refresh the page. Okay, all happened here. Okay. Now element interactions, click, we already had seen. Send keys, we already had seen. clear also we had seen yesterday, right? Like to clear something, we will use this. Like, if I wanted to enter something and I wanted to enter something else, then before that I need to clear, then I have to use the clear dot get text. So dot get text, what does it do is it retrieves the visible text of an element. Okay, for example, if you have something displayed on the page, okay, that has a text. Okay, maybe I will try to use the same website. Here we have the website. Okay, so this login we have, right? So this login, I would like to check in the DOM what is the text of it. So the text is like login. Okay, if I wanted to print this text, okay, maybe otherwise I will do one more thing, like, I would like to print all this text. Okay, whatever I have it here, I wanted to print all of this text because I would like to verify that whenever I go to login page, or this login page, I should get this one. Okay, I need to verify that the test case is when you navigate to the login page, verify that this text comes under new customer. Okay, now I need to identify this text. Okay, and I should be able to get that and store it in a string. Then I need to verify that whether it is same or not using assertions. Okay, now in order to get this text, okay, I need to write obviously XPath. So can someone help me writing the XPath for this? Like it has I only see that it has a text class equal to text, but maybe with the text there could be many, like there are if I go with the class text. Okay, for example, if you don't know the tag name, you can use a star. Okay, star means any tag name, and at the rate class equal to, if I go for class equal to text, oh, there is only one, luckily. So then I can use it. Now as I have seen it's a div. Instead of star, I'm going to directly use a div. But star means anything will work. Okay, then I'm going to use this one to identify the this element. Now after this element, I wanted to print this text. Okay, for that what I can use is I can use the dot get text. Okay, so get text is the method which will retrieve the content. Now I'm going here, browser navigation examples. So after going to login, okay, I'm going to create one web element, and login text, I'm going to give it as login text. And you know how to write it, right? Drive.find element by, I'm going to do it by XPath. And I'm going to give it this XPath that I have written. Okay, so this is the XPath I have given. So login text will identify the element. Okay, now I wanted to print it out, or first I would like to store it in a string like description. I'm going to make it as a description. And if I wanted to get, I can use the login text. Okay, login text dot. If when you do web element dot, you see all the methods, right? Like get text is there, get CSS value is there, get tag name. Yesterday we have used get tag name, right? Get tag name will print what is the tag name for that element, right? Similarly, now get text means it will print it out whatever the text that is present. Okay, now I wanted to print this out. Now I'm going to say, like, login text is this one. Now let me run it and see whether it will print it or not. So while finding it out element, I'm using some other attribute to identify, but I was able to get this text. Okay, so you can see here, it has printed all the text like this one. Okay, I don't want to print text. Maybe I would like to print some other attribute. Okay, for the same one, maybe for this one, right? I have this by creating and all. I have this one, right? Now for this, I didn't. Yeah, this text. Yeah. Now after getting text, okay, now I don't want to get text. I want to get any other attribute. Okay, for example, maybe I will take some other here, or maybe for the register. Let me see if we have some other attributes for register. For register, I would like to go with the link text because it's a anchor tag. I would like to go with the link text. After identifying, I also want to print, what is the href, what is the URL, for this register, and what is the class name for this register. Sometimes it might be the case, like, this is a perfect example where, I also wanted to get a link associated, with particular text. Then how do you get it? I wanted to get, if I get text, it will give me register only, but I want to get attribute. For that, we have a method called get attribute. Okay, so all you need to do is you have to use the get attribute method, and you have to provide, whatever the attribute that you are referring. Okay, so now if I wanted to get this, let me write it here. First of all, I would like to identify using a register, right? Using this, I would like to get, after printing this, I would like to write web element register. If anyone is not getting, feel free to halt me, okay? Because these are very important classes. So drive.find element by dot link text. I would like to go with link text. Why? Because I have anchor tag. Anchor tag means I can use it directly. So this web element, this element has to be capital. Okay. So after identifying this register, I would like to get link. Okay, maybe link text. I would like to just get a link. How do I get it? Is using this attribute. I'm gonna say get attribute. Now, which attribute I would like to get it? So get attribute, which attribute I would like to get? href. So this will give me the link. Okay, let's see. Let's run it and see if it works. Also, I have identified using this, right? Let me also write it. Use the complex XPath that we have written, or more reliable XPath that we have written. Okay, so let me keep it here. So this is going to be double slash here. Okay. Now let me press out. Link is link. Okay, let me write it. So far we have seen, like, how to get text of, and next in next 1 minute we're gonna see how to print the color of a element. Okay. So I think now it does. It refreshed as well, right? So what? It's not common. Yeah, it is printed, right? This link slash register, it has printed. Okay. Now I would like to print a color of it. Okay, like the CSS property for this register. I'm going to inspect this register and going under computed. Okay, you can also go and see whether you are able to go. This under computed, you will have all the CSS properties, like, what is the font size, what is the color, background color, what is the background color, or what is the color of the, this one. So all of these you can get it using get CSS attributes. So these are called as the CSS attributes, and using this you should be able to get all the CSS properties. Okay. Now if you wanted to get a color of it, okay, maybe color, you can get anything, and let me get it a color. Okay, for this register, then what you can use is, now we cannot use an attribute because because those details are not present in the DOM, right? It's not present in the DOM. It's present in the computed section, which means like it's a CSS property. So in order to get the CSS property, what you can do is, for this register itself, I wanted to print color of it. Like for the register only, I want to get CSS value. Okay, this is the this is the method get CSS value. What I wanted to get, I wanted to get a color. Okay, now I would like to print it out. So it won't display like color is red or something. You know, it always represented in the form of RGB. Okay, you might be knowing what is RGB, like red, green, blue color. It will have some values, right? Based on these values only, the color will be decided. Okay, so it will just print out the values, and even you can asset the same thing, like, for red color, it should be this one. So it should display this color. Okay, this color has to be displayed. AF00304. Okay, now let me try it. Run this program. Let me use driver.close because every time it's opening, but driver.close, so that it will by default close it. You can see the color it has printed RGBA. The values of red color, blue, green color, and blue and this is a form that it is represented in the CSS as I have shown you. Okay. So now I would like to use very important one, and which would help you for the assignment on Facebook as well. So because in Facebook, I think you worked on it, but you're not able to select these things, right? Now we're going to learn how to select these values. It is basically called as a select dropdown. We'll also see today how to click on these radio buttons. Okay, let's look at the code that we have, for how to handle this one. Okay, so how to handle dropdowns. So whenever you wanted to handle a dropdown, first you need to create an object for the select class. Okay, because it's a select dropdown, right? As we had seen, it's a select dropdown. First, you need to create a dropdown, an instance or an object for the select class. Now, after that, with that instance, you can call the methods. It is same as WebDriver. Like, you have created a new Chrome driver and you created a driver, right? Using this driver, you are able to call, different methods. Like, you called the find element, or you called get method, navigate. All these methods were accessible, right? Similarly, you can access by using select one. Okay, now let me quickly create it as a new select example, select or drop down example. Okay, so again, the same code that we're going to have main method, then WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver dot get some URL, because I need some URL, right? Maybe I can go for Facebook only. I'm going for Facebook. Go to this page, login page. Okay, so driver.get. Now, after navigating, I would like to first select this one, right? So maybe I can maximize as well. Then I would like to select the dropdown. Okay, then I'm going to write like a select. Okay, this is the class. Like, it comes from Selenium support.ui. Okay, because it's a UI, right? Support.ui package, you will have it. Select equal to new select. The way I have written WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver, I have written like a select equal to new select. Okay, so once you write this one, like here you need to provide. Let's see what is select is expecting. So when you hover on the select, it is expecting a web element. Okay, which means it is expecting a web element. So let's create a web element for select dropdown. Okay, select dropdown. For example, I wanted to handle day dropdown. So I'm going to write like a day dd. Dd meant for dropdown. Okay, so I would like to identify the day dropdown using some strategy. For example, let's see what we have here. The date of birth, it's a day, right? So the day has select called these many attributes we have. So you can use name, id, or title. Title means, yeah, title if you want to use, you have to use XPath. The class name you can use, name you can use, ID you can use. I always prefer ID. Okay, so, and I'm sure like with this ID, there won't be any duplicates, right? So I can directly use the ID. So I'm going to write it like by ID of this day, okay, because that's the same thing, right? So I'm going to have this one like by.id. Now, after you identify this element, let's pass it to the select, which means I'm saying like this select dropdown is for for day. Okay, it's for day. Maybe you can say like day select. You can make it like a day select as a variable name. Now once you got control over the the select dropdown for day, now you can use methods. Let's see what are the method that you have. Day select dot, you have a method called select by index. If you know the index, like at which place it is coming up, then you can use this one to select that one. Okay, or get options means it will give me all the options. Whatever the options it has, it will give me all the options. Select by visible text. Visible text means whatever it is appearing. Okay, for example, in the day dropdown, what is appearing here, maybe you're getting 1 2 3 4 5 7, right? That is called as a visible text. And here Jan, Feb, Mar, April, May, so these are the visible text. So you can either select by visible text, or you can also select by, okay, let's see what are the other method you have. You also have a select method by value. You can also select by value. So there are three ways to select any option, which is index. Index means starting from 0, and visible text. Visible text, whatever it is appearing on the screen, or value means if it has an attribute called value. Definitely it will have attribute called value. You can also use the value. For now, I would like to may go with the value. Okay, select by value. What is the value that I was getting here? Okay, for example, I would like to select sixth value. Okay, six I want to like to select, and the six has a value called six. So let me copy this. Then I'm going to give it like six. I'm going to give it here in the double quote. Then it will select. Obviously, it will select that value. Okay, for let me run it, and maybe put a debug point here on it and see. It's very easy. It's only that you require how to identify and select dropdown. Then using one of the method, either by select value, select by index, or select by visible text, you should be able to select it. So I have navigated to this page directly, and by default there was 7. Okay, now I wanted to select 6. So first I'm getting access over the day dropdown by using new select by creating an object to it and passing the dropdown. Now, when I do this select by value, you can notice like it has selected. So if you wanted to work on checkboxes or radio buttons, okay, maybe if you wanted to click here, it's basically a click only. Like it's something that we already know that we can use the click method. But you should be good at identifying these elements. Okay, for example, I wanted to select male. Okay, then what you need to do first, mail, I need to exactly select this drop down, this radio button, right? So this radio button is here, and you can see like it has some attributes, but the same attributes you will have it for other as well. For example, if you see, you can see like it has same class name, same ID, and same name. Okay, so in such cases you cannot use the same one, right? Because each and every one, all of these radio buttons has the same properties. Like radio button, it has all the properties, it has the same thing. Now in such cases, it is always preferable whenever you have a radio button, you always need to identify from the, or you always need to traverse from the text to this one. Okay, now I want some from here. I would like to go to input. Now if you see under label, okay, under label there is no sibling, but under label you have input. It's like label is a parent and input is a child. How can I traverse to child using child? And this is perfect, but because it's a child, immediate child, right? I can also use a single slash. Single slash meant for child only, right? Because we had seen yesterday the first one like a absolute we had used here, like XPath locators, XPath program, right? Here the first one we had seen like if you wanted to traverse from parent to child. So here the parent to child, yeah, parent to child, I just use a slash. Why? Because slash meant for its child. Okay, so this also you can write it. Otherwise you can also use a single slash and then rightly write it. Okay, both will work. Okay, appreciate it. So this one I have to use. Perfect. Now let me use it here to select this one. We are on the browser navigation or select drop down, right? Okay, here also I'm also doing the drop down, sorry, radio button. So first of all I would like to identify the mail radio button. It got hang. Okay, web element. mail radio button equal to drive.find element by XPath, and I'm going to use this XPath. Now how to handle radio button. It's just a click method that you're already aware, like how because in general as well we'll just click on it, right? So it will select it. Okay, now let's check it. Let me run this program. So it's selecting. Let me resume directly to this point. Okay, so it should select value as a 6 October 2023 because I've given index as 2. Now it has to select mail. Okay, now first I'm identifying the web element, then I'm just clicking on it. So you can notice like it has grid. Okay, so this is it. Like this is how you can handle radio button. That's so let's use this page to work with the checkbox. So here you can see remember me is the checkbox, right? So how to check, how to identify this one? Let's check the inspect and see if it has any attributes that we can directly use it. Okay, so if I go here and see, this has a ID called remember me. Okay, so you can use this ID because this won't change, right? But if I wanted to write from here, like from remember me to, I would like to go to here. Okay, then what I can do is um, I can write it like, so this is a label, right? So double slash label, and then text equal to this remember me. So this it's a syntax for XPath, like double slash tag name is a label, text equal to this value. Okay, from here I would like to navigate to this one. Then what I can do, I can immediately from it's like
Parent.
yeah, I can go to the parent and then again come to the child. Or otherwise, if you think this label input and input, these are actually siblings. They are in the same line, means they are the siblings, and this one is the preceding sibling, like it's an elder sibling. If it is an elder sibling, you can use preceding sibling, like preceding hyphen sibling. Then what is that preceding sibling is with the input. Okay, so this input, but you have to both the elder siblings are having the uh, same
Input.
input, right? So in that case you can go with so input is there.
Mm.
Then if you go with the 2, which means like from here this is 1, and from here the distance is like it's a 2. That's why you have to use the
Oh,
2.
so it's
That way it is
the
like, yeah,
closest
yeah.
one. Mm.
Exactly. So generally we had seen following sibling, right? In the following sibling case, the case is like, if I wanted to go from here, then the immediate one will be the one, and this one will be the second one. But when you traverse, from the bottom to the top,
Mm.
then you need to
Mm.
use the preceding sibling, and it will be like this one is the one, this one will be the 2. Okay, I hope it makes sense. Now I got this element, like even it is able to select here. Okay, let me quickly create a thing. Okay, so API framework. Let me create. Where do we have our branch? Our project is Selenium training. This window. Yeah, so we are creating them under Selenium package, right? So let's go to Selenium package. Under Selenium, let's create a class called checkbox test. Okay, let me give it as a checkbox example, maybe checkbox example. Okay, so this way, like the symbol that it would require to instantiate WebDriver, and a main method it would require. So it requires a main method. Then we require to create a WebDriver equal to new WebDriver. Then I'm gonna need yeah, I'm gonna maximize the window. Then I'm gonna get the URL. So the URL is something like demo. Demo do we have to, let me copy from here. Let me copy this one. Let me give this one in a double quote. So I was just navigating, to the URL. These steps are common in every time. So now, uh, before actually I would like to, click on this. I would like to check whether this is selected or not. Okay. First, let me create a web element. Obviously, I require a web element, right? So let me create a web element with a name called what is that? Remember me, right? Remember me checkbox. I'm giving name like a RM checkbox, and I'm going with I would like to go with XPath, right? So let me go with XPath. So what is XPath that we derived? We have used preceding sibling in order to identify this. Okay, we can directly use the ID, but just for our practice, whenever we get a chance, let's use this. Okay, now you got a checkbox. Now this checkbox has a method called is selected, is displayed, and is enabled. Okay, let me show you them. So this RM checkbox dot. If you see the methods it has is selected. Is selected means if it is already selected. Okay, is displayed means it is displaying or not, that it will return. Is enabled means, like sometimes a button will be there, and if it is not enabled, then it will return false. Otherwise, it will return a true. If you notice, all these is functions always return a boolean. So what are the expected values for boolean? Or false. Only it would return true or false. Okay, so that's why it says like whether it is selected or not. Either it says yes like a true or no like a false. Okay, now if I say is selected, okay, let me try printing it out. Like if it is selected, like I would say like is RM selected. I'm going to have this one printing. Okay, now let's run this program and see. Before even I'm trying to click on it, I was just checking whether it has been selected or not. So it's done. And yeah, here you can see is RM selected is written false. Why? Because we don't have this selected, right? Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let me add a driver.close at the end, because every time browser is getting open, they're keeping open. So now after I check, I'm gonna click the checkbox. How do I click? For whatever whether it is a checkbox, radio button, or a button, okay, you always need to use a method called click. So it will handle that. Okay, so click method, you're gonna use it. So after clicking, I would like to check if it is selected now. Okay, now let me run this program. So the expected value is like initially it should say false because it's not selected. Then when you click on it, now it should show like it's yes, like it's selected. And remember, whenever you handle checkbox, you should have this condition like if it is not checked, then only click on it. Otherwise, what will happen is you wanted to check, you wanted to click on checkbox, but assume that on the page it is already selected. Then what will happen when you again click on it? It will be deselected, right? So like the vice versa, like it can also happen the other way. So here it says like first it says false, then it said true. Okay, then we good. So you should always say like if you wanted to select, you should always have a check condition like before clicking, like if RM checkbox is selected, then only click it. Okay, if it is not selected means like if it is not selected, then only click it. You always need to write this way so that it will perform operation only when it is not selected. Okay, I think this is clear. Also try using the other methods. Maybe for example, the same way like before even checking whether it is selected or not, or before even checking whether it is there, I would like to check whether it is displayed or not. Okay, so if you wanted to go for that, the method that we have is,
नहीं हिडन होता
so we have the method called rm checkbox dot is displayed. So it will return if it is displayed or not. Okay.
हाँ
Now I can have one more method called is enabled. Okay. Before even clicking, I would like to check if the checkbox is enabled or disabled. Okay. So that can be done using the method called is enabled. Okay. So only you need to remember like there are three methods. One is displayed, is enabled, is selected. So when to use what is like if you the is displayed is applicable for all the elements, like if the element is there on the page or not. Okay, then you can use this is displayed method. For example, the test case is like when you submit the registration form and click on submit, you should see a message something like details were submitted successfully. Then for that message you will create a locator, and you will have this condition like is displayed. Okay, whether is displayed is returning true or not, that you can assert. Okay, that's where this is displayed is very much important. Now is enabled also, like before clicking on a button, or or before clicking a checkbox, you can make it, you can wait until that is being enabled. So this will return whether it is enabled or not. Okay, now let's see like this program now. So in the console you can see like first is displayed true, is enabled also true, and now is selected false. Then when you click on it, then this operation happened, then it became a true. So that's how you need to handle the checkbox. Let's see how to handle alerts. Alerts means like sometimes you would get some alerts, like I will just show you how the alerts would look like. Yeah, maybe I can use this. See, if you see here, when I click here, you're getting an alert, which says like you clicked a button. This is a message that I was getting. And I have another type of alert which says like not only okay, but you are also getting a cancel button. Okay, and if I go to the third one, it says not only okay or cancel, it also have some text to be entered. Okay, there are three types of alerts basically. I would like to So these are the three types of alerts, that you would come across, different websites. Like if you are coming across those those alerts, then how to handle these, that you might be you should be aware. Okay. So these three type of alert, I think you got it right. The difference is like, it has only okay. The other one has, apart from okay, it has also cancel. Okay, and the other one, apart from okay and cancel, it also has some text. Okay. Now let's handle this. Let's automate this and see how to handle the alerts. Okay. So now let me create a class called a class for alerts. Alerts example. So it's gonna again have the main method and all these, right? So let me copy this till this point. Okay. So let me have the main method and all. Now instead of this URL, let's use this one. Let's close this. Instead of this URL, I'm gonna have this website. Okay. Now this website, once it got loaded, I wanted to handle the alert. Okay. So for handling alert, the code is okay. Like how you created, how you are handling a drop down. You are saying like, select equal to new select. Basically, you are creating an object to the select class, right? Similarly, for alert, you're gonna again write the same thing, like, alert. Okay, but you're not going to instantiate, but there is a method called switch to. So driver has a method called switch to, and switch to has a method called alert. Okay, so if you wanted to handle an alert, you have to use this command, like driver. From driver, I would like to switch to where I wanted to switch. I would like to switch to alert. Okay, so this is the command that you need to use. Okay, whenever you wanted to handle alerts. Okay, so this alert comes from the Selenium alert. Okay, now when I switch to that alert, okay, there are methods called, either you can accept it, because if it is a single one, then either you can accept it, or you can also dismiss. Like when you have a two buttons, if you wanted to click on cancel, then you can click on dismiss method, or you can also enter this. Like if you want to enter, then you can also have like a send keys, alert dot send keys, and you can have something entered, then you can accept it. Okay, so these are the methods that alert has. As I have shown, three types. One is to accept, other one is either accept or dismiss, other one is to enter some text. Okay, this is the core of the handling alert. Now before handling this alert, I need to click on this, right? Because after I click only, I will be able to see that alert. Okay, so let's check, what is that XPath we have for this. What is element that we have for click me. So here I'm going to click me here. So it has a ID called alert button, and I would like to check if if any other has alert button or not. So there is other, but with the timer alert, so it's not a alert. So I can use this, right? I can use this alert button to identify this. So let me create a web element. Like first I'm going to create a web element. So whenever you need to perform an operation, you need to create a web element and give a name like simple alert. Okay, maybe it's a simple alert, and I'm going to write it like driver dot find element by dot id. I can go with id because id is unique for me. Okay, so this is the web element I have. Now I need to click on it. So I need to first click on the simple alert. After clicking, I need to accept it. So for accepting, first I need to switch to that alert, right? So let me switch to that alert. Then I wanted to accept it. So I'm gonna write like a alert dot accept, because it has only one button called accept, right? So let's see how it works. Now let me run this program. It's only that you should know the core of it, like how to switch to an alert. What is the command of it, and I'm gonna anyway share the cheat code for it. So let's close. Of time to load. Okay, let's stop here. You see, the alert has come and it accepted as well. So it happened very quick that we're not able to notice. Have you noticed, or shall I do it again? Or we'll do one thing. Let's do it. Maybe for the other one. Let's run it in a debug mode for the other one. Okay. So now you handle this, like trigger another alert called this one. Like confirm box will appear. Okay. We'll get either okay or cancel. I would like to now cancel. Okay, this one. Okay. Now let's have it like a confirmation pop-up or confirmation alert. Let's create a web element. So let me check what is the ID that it has. I hope you're following. If not, feel free to halt me. So this one. Now I need to click on this because I would like to either see like what has been selected. So I was trying to get it here. Like ID is a confirm button. So let me create a web element with this. Like second one, like confirm alert. So web element confirm alert equal to driver dot find element y dot id. What is that id? Id is the confirm button. So I have identified the element. Now I'm clicking on it. After identifying the element, I'm gonna click on this. So now once I clicked on this, so I'm gonna switch to the alert. Okay, so I need to switch to the alert. Then I would like to dismiss it. I don't want to accept it. I would like to click on the um, so confirm alert. Okay, sorry. First I need to switch to alert, right? So let me switch to the alert. How do I switch? Like, I have to write like a alert equal to alert one equal to driver dot switch to alert. So now this is like, let me put a debug point here just to make you show this, and I don't want to go through this. Now let me run this. Okay, now let's see. Has it come to the debug point? It didn't come yet. Now you can see when it clicked, it has got both okay and no, right? Now when we dismiss this, now it has come here. To this debug point, it has come right now. If you wanted to accept this, you have to write like alert dot accept. If you want to dismiss, you need to write a dismiss. Now you can see, do you confirm action that we're gonna dismiss it using the method called dismiss. And you can also see like now it says like what has been clicked, it will show here like you selected cancel. So that is the confirmation for us, like it is it has been cancelled. Okay, now let's handle this one as well, where you need to enter text. Okay, so for that, let me quickly get the id for this. So if I go here and check the id for this, no, it's not inspected. Yeah, now inspect. The id is like a prompt button. Okay, it's a prompt button. So let's do one thing, like let me write some web element. Let me create. Now it's a prompt alert. You can say like a prompt alert. I'm going to create a web element prompt alert equal to using this button. I think this is what you have, right? So prompt button, yeah. Then after this, you need to click on it obviously in order to trigger the alert. Okay, prompt alert. Then you're switching to the alert. How do you switch? You're gonna write it like driver dot switch to dot alert, like driver dot switch to dot alert. So that you're gonna name it. I'm gonna assign it to a alert to equal to this one. Okay, now alert. How to enter it? You can use the alert to dot send keys. Okay, you can use send keys and something like uh, test. I would like to enter test. After entering text, I would like to now accept it. Again, still you can either you accept it or reject it based on the methods, like you have like accept or reject. So you're gonna write it like alert to dot accept. I would like to accept this. Okay, this is the code that you can use. There are three methods basically. One is to accept dot alert dot accept, alert dot dismiss, and alert dot send keys. And now let's see how to handle frames. So before moving on to know like frames, we should understand what is frame. Okay, so here you see this page. On the left side you have some component. Okay, some like some section is there. On the right side you have something, and in between you have something. So on the page again you have one more page. Okay, so this is the frame. Name it as a demo QA frame test. I'm gonna have the same code of line like frame test. Let me take it. I'm gonna launch the browser and go to the URL. Then so main method I'm gonna create. And I'm gonna create a WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. And I'm gonna launch the URL like driver dot get. Okay, so the URL is like frames. Let's get this. I think it's there. So after I log into these frames, I would like to switch to the frame. Okay, after I logged in, I would like to let me also maximize the window as it says. Like this is the code I have for manage dot maximize. Then after this, I would like to switch to the frame. Okay, before handling something, I would like to switch to this frame. And I identified like when I inspected this element and clicked on this, I could see like it is under ID frame one. Okay, so let me take ID frame D as this as a frame one. Okay, the frame one is the ID, right? So now after I switch on it, I would like to create a web element. Like I'm going to create a web element for that text. Okay, maybe having a name as a heading. And how do I do that? Like a drive dot find element by dot. Let me see what property it has. Okay, in order to fetch this is a sample base. So I'm inspecting here. I could see like it has an ID. ID as a sample heading. I just wanted to ensure like there is no other one. Okay, here is one and there is one more actually. Oh, here is one more actually. So, okay, so there is an ID with the same name. Then let's take the first one, okay, which means like drive dot find elements. I'm going to use and by dot ID. I'm going to take the ID. So with this ID, it will identify two, right? Now out of these two, I would like to get the first one. So get 0. Okay, so now after I got it, I would like to print the text. Okay, so this is what I would like to do after switching to the frame. So let's see if it works. It got executed, so without an error, which means like it is able to get it. Let's also get this printed. Like it is this one. Now let's try running this. So I'm just switching to that frame in order to handle the content inside the frame. Because it's a text, I would like to get the text. So, you notice like it has printed the heading text as this is a sample base, right? Now just assume that we are not switching to the frame. Okay, before switching to the frame, I thought like it's a main content, it's like a default content. I would like to access it. Okay, now let's see what will happen if I don't switch. Basically, if I comment this out, which means I was trying to directly access this, right? Let's see what will happen. And if you notice here, it says no such element like index out of one. Okay. Why? Because it is even not able to identify the element. Okay, it's not able to identify the element. Why? The reason is it is unable to switch to the frame. Okay, we are not switching to the frame, so it is unable to identify these elements. Okay, so I think now it makes sense, right? Now let's try one thing. Now before even switching back, okay, I switched to this iframe one, right? Now before switching back, I would like to maybe click on these elements. So, let's see, these elements. So elements has a div and then a span. Okay, it has a span. Let's see if there is any link for easy. It also has a li and a span. Okay, we'll try doing this maybe. So, span of text equal to alerts, right? Span text equals alerts. So this is the XPath that it is able to identify. Now, if I try to click on it, okay, this alerts, this one, without even without switching back to the default content. Let me try doing that. Now, create a web element name. I'm going to give it like alerts. Text equal to driver dot and element by XPath, and XPath is this one. I want to give it a single quotes, so double quotes will be a problem. So once I do this, oh yeah, I got this alert text right now. I would like to print the text maybe. Okay, like I would like to get the text of it, and then I would like to print it out. Let's see. You can see like it has thrown error. The reason is like no, it's because it's unable to identify obviously because we are not switching back to the main content. Now let's try switching back to the main content. Now how do we switch using the same driver dot switch to dot default content. So we're just switching back to the default content. Now let's see if it works or throws error. So it is as simple as that. If you have something in the frame, you need to get into that frame using switch to frame and work, with the component with the elements that it has inside that frame. Then when you wanted to do anything outside the frame, then again you need to use the default content, switch to default content. Let's see the mouse and keyboard actions. Okay, so what are mouse and keyboard actions? When what exactly you perform, mouse and keyboard? Like while you text, while you're testing something manually, you're gonna open some URL, and sometimes you need to do a drag and drop, which means like if it is a content project, then what you would need to do, you need to drag something, some input box or something into some place. Okay, so that could be one of the mouse action, or you need to enter control A in order to select everything while performing some operation. Or if the content is already there in the input box, you might need to do a backspace many times in order to clear the text. So these are all could be the mouse and keyboard access that you need to perform. Sometimes you might need to hover and to validate the text that is appearing. Okay. For example, if I go to any website, it could be. So you are already working on your application, and there is an enhancement like validate that a mouse over when user hovers their mouse on some element, then it should display the text. For example, yeah. Also, in order to handle this, for example, here you have computers. In order to click on accessories, if I wanted to navigate to accessories, then I should not click on computers. If I click on computers, it will go to computer space. Okay, but instead I just need to hover my mouse here. I'm not clicking. I'm just keeping my mouse on computers. Okay, you have to just hover your mouse. Then this will come, and out of this you need to click on something. So this is one of the functionality where you would where you will see like mouse hover is required, or mouse action is required. Okay, similarly, okay, if you need to right click something in order to get some properties, okay, then you need to do a right click here, or you need to click something, twice. Like when you double click something, it will open something. So then you would need to do a double click. So all these mouse actions, how to trigger that is what we should be knowing. Like from Selenium provides a class called actions. Okay, that actions will help us to do these all mouse actions. Okay, so we'll see what are the different mouse actions that we have and how to handle them using the Selenium. Okay, so if I go here now, I'll show you the data that we have. So yeah, move to element means it moves the mouse to an element, which is nothing but a hover. So in order to hover, you can use the move to element method. Okay, and double click. If you need to double click, you have to use the method called double click. And if you need to right click, then you have to use the method called context click. Okay, and if you need to drag and drag something and drop somewhere, then you have to use the drag and drop, and which you need to provide two XPaths. One is from the source, like from where you are actually dragging, and target meant for where you are actually putting it. Okay, so this is the method that you need to use in order to drag and drop. And if you need to perform any keyboard access, like I would like to click on enter after entering some text. After I enter username and password, instead of clicking submit button, I can also click on enter button. Right? If you click on enter button as well, it will happen. So how to handle this keys dot enter also we're gonna see. Okay. So any questions like where exactly we will be using the mouse functions? I hope you got it like
No,
very well. So, but general applications you will not come across this. Even I mean, even when you manually test it, there won't be any scenario. If it is not a content management project, you won't be come across any scenario where you need to double click, right click also you won't be getting it. It's only maybe you might have come across drag and drop for the content creation. So that also that could be the case. I hope it makes sense.
yeah,
To answer
got
to
it.
you quickly, it's for mostly for content management applications. Okay.
Got it.
But this control
Really
A and
good.
all, mostly you will use it. For example, if you need to something, okay, then you need to copy this, then you will use the control A. That is a keyboard action that you do, right? It's a control C, control V also. Here you will copy content, copy it. Then somewhere you will paste it. Okay. So these operations is generally that we do. We may not notice, but while testing, we will do it, and that could be one of the step in the test. That could be one of the test step where you will copy and paste it. That way you will be using the keyboard actions. Okay. So yeah, let's get started. We create a class to handle those actions, right? So mouse actions, example, click method. Let's take this one, which we have just seen. This one. Then first I would like to perform mouse over, okay, perform mouse actions here. Uh, so how do you actually handle the mouse actions? First you need to create an object to the actions class. Okay. So for example, move to element, which is hover, we'll try it. Okay. So first you need to create an object to the actions class. So if you notice, most of the times whenever we need to handle something, we are creating an object. Okay. For example, if it is a drop down, we are creating a new select. Okay. Similarly, if it is an actions, like if it is a mouse or a keyboard actions, you have to create an object to the action, and you need to pass driver as a parameter. Okay. And if I want to save this, obviously I need to write like a action equal to new actions. Okay. Action equal to new actions. So it's actions, right? Actions. Actions equal to actions. So this is how you need to create an object, which means like now using these actions, you will be able to do you will be able to perform everything. Now what I actually I want to do is like I would like to hover over an element, right? So maybe I would like to hover on the computers. Okay. So in order to first hover on it, what I would be requiring, definitely I would be requiring like where exactly it is present, which is nothing but the identifying the element. So I need to identify this element. So let me right click and see which these computers. You can see like it's basically a link, right? So you can use a link text directly. You can use a link text of computers. But just and so like there is no other link text with the same computers. But it seems like there is. Okay, there is. Or let's do it this way. We're on this website now. With the link text, you should be having only one. Computers. There is one more. Okay, then it's not. You should not go with the link text directly because there are many elements for this. Okay, there are many elements. Let's use the XPath. Okay. I think now you should be able to understand why we have gone through all following sibling and all. Okay, because if I go with the computers, definitely this is also getting highlighted, this is also getting highlighted, and there is some other place you have the computers. So there will be ambiguity or confusion like which one it has to click. Now I have to specifically mention like okay, click on computers or hover on computers, which is in the menu bar. Okay, this kind of let's assume that it's a menu. I would like to click on computers only on this menu. Okay. Now, can anyone guess like what I have to do it? First, this is one I require it. So I'm going to hover my inspector on the total one. Okay, when I move my mouse here and there, you can notice like when you keep it here, it is getting highlighted the total bar. Okay, total menu it is highlighting, which means like when you went with the header menu, okay, when you go with the header menu, it would select total. Or you can also go with the top menu. If you go with the top menu as well, it is going. Okay. Now, how I will navigate is from the top menu, I will go to the computers. Okay. So now, can anyone try writing it? I need it from top menu to computers. I have to go. Okay. So that's good. So /ul and then have brace open. And what does it has? I see like it has. As a class as a top unit. So let's take the class attribute. So at the rate attribute equal to value. So what is the value? Value we have like a top menu. So let's have the top menu. Then this is actually selecting the total menu. Okay. Out of this, I need to go to computers. Now I would like to tell you like how to go to computers. You notice this under this UL you have LI. Under LI. Second LI you have the computers. Okay. With maybe a text of computers. Okay, so can you guess like what I should write it? Should I keep single slash or double slash? If we want to go to directly to computers. I'm going to for double slash and then what is the tag name I have to provide? Double slash means it can go anywhere. And where exactly I need to go? I need to go to this particular line. Okay, this particular tag I need to go. So there are many spaces. Okay, so you have many spaces here. So like if you give this way, either you have to give this way, or the other way is instead of having spaces, I can also have like a normalize text of. I can remove this now. Okay, I can remove. So this is also one of the way, right? So now I need to create a web element, right? I have to hover on it. So I'm going to create a web element. What is the name? Element of name is computer menu, right? Computer. Right? So let me have this computer menu. Driver dot find element by dot XPath, and I'm going to paste that XPath. Okay. So I have identified the element now. Now Now if I make computer menu dot click, it will actually click on it, but I don't want to click, I just want to hover. Okay, for hover you have a method called move to element. Okay, so all the mouse actions and keyboard actions you have to perform using actions class. Okay, so if I'd like to do this, actions dot, you have to write like a move to element. You can see like what are all methods it has. Okay, you can have a quick walkthrough, like you can use the key up means on your keyboard you have the up arrow, right? So down arrow, send keys, you can send it, or double click. Okay, to context click means right click. So actions dot move to element. So you can move to element. Which element I need to move? Now I need to move to the computer menu. Okay, so I'm going to click on computer menu. Then dot. At the end, you have to say like a perform. So perform meant for you are performing that action. Okay, so that way you need to create, write the code in order to hover on the element. Okay, so let's quickly check if it works. You can see because I hovered on the computers, all of desktop notebook accessories has come. Okay, this is how you can hover, and then immediately you can also try clicking on desktop also. With that also you can write it. When you right click here, you can notice like all of these are coming up. Okay, and when you click this, like when you double click, you would get some alert. Okay, that they would design such a way like when you double click on something, it should populate a alert. Okay, so these are the two examples here which you can notice. And now let's try handling this. Okay, so right click to handle. What I would like to handle, I would like to handle maybe right click. Now for this I need to navigate to this website. So driver.get off this website. Okay, I'm navigating to this website. Now what I'm required is I need an element, obviously, like right click button is I'm required, and having let's see if it has the same thing. Right click. Uh, so this time you cannot do right click on inspect there. You just need to right click inspect anywhere else and keep it here. So it has a text called right click me. So that is what I think it has given here. So okay, right click me, it has given it here. Now in this button I would like to do a perform a right click. Okay, for right click the method is context click. So context is something like which is like a for the right click, it's for a right. Okay, so when you do a normal click means direct click. If it is a negative, like right side click, then you have to use the context click. Okay, and then again same perform. So when I try to perform on this, I need to see some uh, things, right? So let's see, let's run this and see. This one maybe I can comment. Let me stop this because it's or let me write for other thing as well and run it. Okay, so this one is a right click. Now I would like to perform double click. Okay, so on the same website we have it, right? So I can create a double click. What do you have for double click? Have something called you also have the same like text only you have it. Okay, so let me create a web element double click button. Double click button, and this is what you have to control. It has the same thing. Now after this double click, you have to do a double click button dot. Okay, double click dot right like actions. Under this action, you have to perform a double click. So you need to go on a double click, and on which element you need to perform double click, you have to provide it here. Like you need to double click on the double click button dot perform. Okay, now let's run it. Now you can see it has right clicked on it, and you got all this. And also the alert has come because for drag and drop the demo. Let's use this website for drag and drop. Show you something here. Yeah, here I would like to maybe for example it has this credit side account. Okay, account I would like to maybe drag this. Maybe this amount I would like to drag it here. Okay, account and amount, right? So ah, so into the account you can drag the bank. Okay, so maybe let's do this first. Okay, we'll try to drag this bank into debit side or credit side. Okay, we do the credit side, it's not happening. So let's drag it to the debit side. So in order to do that, I require two things. Obviously, one is I need to know like what is the source element that I need to drag. So which means like I need to drag this one, right? So I'm going to hover on this, then it will give me the syntax like it has some basically text as a bank. Okay, so if we go to edit, yeah, the same thing has also has ID. So under this it also has the ID called credit to. So this credit to has to be dragged into here. This credit to has to be dragged into this. Let's see this path. Okay, this has like a bank ID as a bank. Okay, now I wanted to drag this element into this block. Let me refresh the page. Okay. Just refresh the page. What I would actually wanted to do is this bank I would like to drag it to here. which means you first require the element for this, like the bank. The bank has an ID called credit to, and now you have to drag it to this one. Okay, this empty block, okay, where you need to actually drag. Okay, that has an ID called bank. So let's first create two elements and then use the drag and drop. Okay, so let me handle now the fourth one, being something like driver dot find element by dot id. So what is the id? Let's see here. The id is credit to. Let's use this credit to. Copy it. So if it is feasible, I would suggest you to try at least inspecting the elements, so that if you're not able to get it, you can ask. I just pinged in the chat. You can open this website and see. I hovered on it and I got the ID as a credit to. So let me copy it, write it here. Okay, so I identified this element. I'm done with this now. I'm going to create one more element called target. Under it is also under bank, right? Where it is actually target is under account, right? So target account driver dot find element by dot. It also has ID, right? The ID here is this empty space has an ID called bank. So I'm using bank as the ID. So I just got first two things, like which one has to be dropped where. Okay, two things I have got it. Now I'm going to use the access method, and I'm going to do a drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop. So it requires two things. If you hover on this drag and drop, it is saying like it is expecting two parameters. One is source, another one is target. Both are of the web elements. So let's give the source as a source bank and destination as a target bank. Then a target account dot I need to perform it. So I'm going to write it like a perform. Let's see if it happens. Let me run this program. Get. Or let me comment all of these. It's taking time, right? So let's do all of these. Let's run directly this. You can see this has been dragged into here. Okay, so that is how you need to drag an element into a drop. So if you're gonna work on a content management, then this would be very important. Okay, so I think we had seen most of the the mouse actions. Now let's see how to handle keyboard action. Okay, maybe we'll try it here only. So let's do one thing. Let's open Google and then do one thing. Let's go to Google, google.com. So here I'm here, and by pressing shift button, I would like to enter Selenium. Okay, so if you directly enter Selenium, it will be in a lowercase, and when you do a shift button, then it's going to be a it will come like a caps, right? I just wanted to perform this operation. Okay, just assume that the case is like you need to enter only capital letters. Okay, then in that case you can do one thing, like you can click on shift button and enter the capital letters. I mean, whenever you do perform on the keyboard access, it will obviously come in a capital, right? So this use case you understood, right? It's pretty much simple. Like you are just opening a Google and then trying to enter something by pressing the shift. And once you're done with the entering, you're gonna release this, and maybe you can click on enter or something. Okay. So this action, okay, this one I would like to perform. So let me go to this website, Google. Other first you need to navigate to Google. So I would like to perform a keyboard action. So let me have driver.get. I'm gonna navigate to this website. Then what I need to do is like I need obviously the search box. Because I have written many times, it has come like it says like a queue. Okay, if I want to check it, right click here, inspect. So you can notice that it has an ID called so this input box, right? So on the google.com. So where is queue? It has given queue. It says name equal to queue. Other this one. I think this is the website now. Click on here, right click, inspect, and click on this. It has a name as a queue. Okay, so we are identifying this element using the name by dot name and queue. Okay, after you identify, you need to enter it. Okay, generally how do you enter? Like you will just write like a search box dot send keys. Right, you're gonna enter something like a Selenium. Okay, instead of capital, you just entered this one. But now I actually wanted to enter this one, but it should print actually capital letters there. Okay, so now let's perform that. Now instead of this, I would like to perform that, right? So obviously, I would require actions class in order to handle any keyboard or this one. I need to, have this one. Now, first I need to do the no. I have to click the shift button, right? So in order to click any button, you can use the key down. So key down, you can use it. And what exactly your key downing? Okay, it's the shift button, right? For that you have the keys class. So keys class will give you all these like an arrow up, arrow down, arrow left. Each and every keyword that we have on the keyboard, you will find it using keys dot. So I would like to perform a keys dot shift. So I'm going to write a keys dot shift. I'm going to import this class, and if you go to here, you can notice like it is coming up. It's an enum in the Selenium, okay, which provides all these keys, home button, numpad, well, F8, any keyboard action you can perform using keys dot. Okay, now using keys dot shift, then I'm gonna send this one like a Selenium into this sets box. Okay, I'm gonna send keys. Then so let's put this way. Send the keys. I'm gonna send keys. What I'm gonna send? I'm gonna send it as a Selenium. Then I'm gonna key up. Why? Because after I'm done with the key down, after I enter everything like Selenium, I need to release it. For releasing, you need to use the key up button. So key down for pressing, key up for releasing. I'm again gonna release this key called this one. Then I'm gonna have this like a build.perform. Okay. So either you can use build.perform or directly perform will also work. Okay. Now this sets box I have to use somewhere, right? So because I'm actually performing action on this sets box. So first I would like to move my mouse over there, which means like I'm gonna move to that element. Which element I would like to move? I would like to move to the search box element. Then I need to click on that input box. Then I'm going to do all this. Okay, like I'm going to press key down, then key up, then finally perform. So this single line has many methods. Like first I'm hovering on the search box, then clicking on it. After clicking, I'm actually performing the key down. Then I'm entering something, then key up. Let's see what will happen if I run this program now. I can comment all of this. I'm giving only one example for keyboard action just to let you know, how to use the keys because it has many information. This single line of code has many information like how to use different keys. If you wanted to do key enter, then you have to use the keys dot enter. Okay, so good for even we commented. So let me close this. So today's class is a bit silent. I'm assuming like whether you're understanding or it's I'm entering it in lowercase, but it actually happened in the uppercase. Why? Because I'm actually performing like a shift down, okay, and then entering Selenium, then shift release. So that can be done using a keyboard action. Okay, now if you wanted to enter something, okay, if you wanted to after this, you just need to click on enter, okay, enter button. Then you can also add one more like after performing release shift, you can also write like a now key down because you are pressing it, right? What you are pressing, you are going to press like a keys dot enter button. Okay, let's see what will happen. Okay, so this action class you will be definitely a interview question if they wanted to test your basic skills. Like they would ask like how do you handle keyboard and mouse actions. So the simple answer could be like using actions class. For that you just need to create an instance of actions passing the driver. Then using actions dot we will get many methods, and it went into the set space. So I just did this instead of clicking Google search. If you do enter as well, it will also perform. Okay, so that time it's it's like a advantage for us, like we don't need to create a locator or perform an action. In the same line, you can do the keys dot enter. So you just need to have this one, then it will be done. Okay, that's how you need to handle mouse and keyboard actions. So these many things we have covered for scrolling. So basically, in order to scroll, down the page, like if you wanted to scroll down the page, okay. So how actually you do? You will do it a mouse action, right? So like you will do mouse over. When you will do, you will move your mouse, or you will click this one, and then you will do up and down. Okay. So this also can be triggered using keyboard, sorry, using mouse as well, or also you can use the down button in the keyboard. So this is one other way because we already handle mouse and key. You can handle even this way as well. Okay. But instead of using this and this, let's try using the JavaScript. Okay, so when you right click and inspect, you will get this window, right? This is something that you're already familiar, right? So now here, if you go to console, so this console helps us uh, to execute the JavaScript on this browser. Okay, so for example, I would like to maybe say like whether this page is in ready state or not. Okay, then I can write the JavaScript like document.ready state. if I write document.readystate, it says complete. Okay, you can see like it is saying like a complete. For example, if I wanted to scroll down this, okay, this one I just want to scroll down by some pixels. Okay, I just wanted to scroll down by some pixel. Then let's see what I can do. Like if I write like a window, this total window, okay, this window I would like to scroll. There is a method provided by the JavaScript called scroll by. I want to scroll by some like vertically I would like to scroll like maybe by 500 pixel. Okay, when I write this one, you can notice when I enter, you can notice like this scroll down has come here. Now I'm again doing it. You can notice right now the cursor is at the top, right? The scroll bar is at the top. Now when I execute this command, it is actually scrolling down. So this I can use. Actually, this JavaScript I can use it in order to scroll. Okay. Now let's see one more thing. Now let's do the same thing, but I'm gonna make it as a minus 500. When I do minus 500, when I click enter, you can notice like it is scrolling up. Okay. So these are the basic commands that you should be aware before handling with the Selenium. Like these are the commands that would help us to scroll either up or down. Okay. Now the same thing if I give like window.scroll by, I'm giving the same thing, but instead of 0, I'm making it like a 500 comma 0. So this will actually scroll to the right, but we don't have any element here. But if we have, it will scroll to the right. Okay. So if the x-axis is 0 and y has some value, if y has a positive value, then it's like it will scroll down. If y has a negative value, then it will scroll up. The same case for if x-axis has value, then it will x means having value means it will scroll horizontally. Okay, so I'm just letting you know these are the commands that we have, and now we need to use this in the Selenium to handle scrolls. Okay, we can handle scrolling only through the JavaScript executor. Because JavaScript executor is let me first create a class here like scroll license demo driver equal to new. I'm going to open a Chrome driver, so I'm going to add a Chrome driver. Okay, then I'm going to open any website. Get off. What is the website that we are actually checking now? Let's use this website. Now, yeah. So I just navigated here. I will also maximize this. Now, in order to use scroll bars or use this scrolling, I need to use the JavaScript executor. Okay, if I go to documentation of JavaScript executor, JavaScript executor. The other way to identify this, okay, you can directly write it here, JavaScript executor, okay, and then you can control click on it to understand what it is actually. So it is from the Selenium. It is from the Selenium, and it actually uses it executes the JavaScript. Means the JavaScript executor we can use it to execute any of the JavaScript, and it can be scroll or it can be document or ready state. To check whether the page is in a ready state or not. All of them can be done using this JavaScript executor. Now this JavaScript executor I cannot directly use driver. I'm going to typecast it. So which means like this driver I'm converting. If you want to convert something into something, then you have to use a typecast. So this we will discuss in the next week Java classes. What is typecasting? But it's like converting one value into another object. Okay, one object into another object. So this driver is of the object called WebDriver, and this WebDriver it is also from Selenium, and the JavaScript executor is also from Selenium. So I'm converting this WebDriver into JavaScript executor. Like I need to provide this class name. Then what will happen is this WebDriver will be converted as a JavaScript executor. Then this driver will have capabilities of executing the JavaScript. So we are adding additional capabilities by typecasting. Okay, so typecasting we'll discuss anyway in detail. For now, just assume like we are converting this driver into a JavaScript executor. Now using this JavaScript executor, you have a method called execute script. This is the only method that you would use from the JavaScript class, that is js.execute script. So the name itself is saying like we are actually executing the script. So what I would like to execute the script, that is what I already done it here. Like I have already checked here. I think it's gone or where. So I have already written here like a window dot scroll by 0,500. I'm going to give the same script there. So if I want to execute, if I want to scroll down by 100 pixels, then I'm going to give it in the double quote this script. Okay, in the double quote, I'm going to give the script like a 0,500. This one I'm going to give it. Okay, so what exactly we did? We just executed the script taking help of JavaScript executor. Now when I run this, you can notice like it is getting scrolled, down. Then meanwhile I will also write to scroll up. To scroll up, what we need to do? You need to use like a js.execute script. The same thing you're going to write it, but instead of positive value, let it run. Sorry, I just ran another one. I need to run this. Scroll action I need to run. Let me write the code meanwhile. JS.execute the script of just a scroll by -500 or -200. I just want to scroll up a little bit. Okay, I want to scroll down by 500, then I want to scroll up by 200. So you can see like it has scrolled down. Okay, now because I just added the scroll up as well. Now if I run it again, what's this?
So it can.
The methods, so that we will use it to make this happen. So you see this playwright application, right? Playwright is one of the tool which uses JavaScript. They actually uses these commands. So these are the commands that they would use to handle the browser instead of using external driver. They will use the inbuilt methods, JavaScript methods to handle the browser automation, but it has obviously has some limitations. Yeah, but just to make you understand, any JavaScript command can be run using JavaScript executor, and those commands are scrolling down, up, arrow, okay, or scrolling to some element, or clicking on an element, entering some text into a box, or returning whether the page is in ready state or not. So there are many commands. Like if you go here and right click and inspect in the console, you'll get many actually. Like in the in the console, if you try typing something, you will get, like, for example, document is there. So these are all the functions that it has. Okay, so there are many functions, but any of the script. Okay, so if you go to ChatGPT and ask like what are all how to click an element using JavaScript, or how to enter text into this one, it will give you JavaScript commands. Okay, those commands you can use it in Selenium to perform that operation. Okay, so in the interest of time, I'm just giving a thought to explore more, but we will use it only for we have a limitation here to use in Selenium for scrolling down only, because for clicking on the sending keys, anyway we have a methods provided by the driver. That's why we don't need to require it. But this could be one of the interview questions, like how do you click on something without click method? Okay, then your answer should be like using JavaScript executor, I can click that. Anyway, I will document all those interview questions and will share it. Okay, so now you just scroll down, up and down. You did both, right? So if you have if you find any horizontal website, you can horizontal scroll bar in a website. You can also try the horizontal by using, for example, if you write it here only, like scroll to the right. Okay, if you want to scroll to the right, then you will use the same thing, but it will have a x-axis. Like this is x and this is y, right? Now it will be like a 500 comma 0, which means it will move horizontally. Okay. So now sometimes you need to scroll to the end. Okay, like you just need to scroll to the page end. Now, how to handle that? You will see it. Okay. So instead of like only to some particular, you would need to scroll to the complete end. Let me write it here. The JavaScript command that we have. Now I'm at the start of the page. I'm going to write like a window. Oh, sorry, what is that? Window, right? Window dot scroll to. You have a scroll function. Now I'm not using scroll by. I'm using scroll to. Okay. So this scroll to helps us to scroll to something. Okay. Now I would like to scroll to the total height, which means like obviously we'll be having x-axis as 0, because I would like to scroll down, which is a vertical, which means it will have only y-axis. Okay. Now the y-axis I'm going to give it like total height. How I can get the total height in JavaScript is you can use a document. Document means the total body. Okay, the total body, like like this total base. This total page has some height. Okay, that you can get it using scroll height. So scroll height. Don't worry if you don't get these commands. It's by practice you will get it. The command is document.body.scroll height, which actually gives you the total height of the page by pixels. Okay, here we are saying 500 pixels, right? But each page can have its own length. We cannot say like if I wanted to scroll down to the end, I don't know what is the height. In that case, I'm going to get it using the scroll height method of document.body. I can get the total size, and then I can use that. I'm saying like you just move it to the end. Now let's execute this. Before this, let me copy it so that I can use the script. Now when I execute this, you just notice it is here, right? Now when I execute it, you can notice it has come to the page end. Okay, so if you want to go to the page end to perform something like these things, for example, source demo is there. Okay, source demo website we have where all the links are at the bottom. Okay, source demo is there. When you log in, you can see all of them are at the bottom. So you need to scroll towards the end in order to click on the footer links. Okay, but footer validation is mandatory in each and every project, right? You need to validate the footer. So if you wanted to validate the footer, you just need to scroll to the end, obviously. In such cases, you can use this command. Okay, now I have already got the written the command, right? So simply I can write like a js.execute script of. I'm going to paste that command. That is window.scroll by scroll height. That's it. Okay, so this will actually move my cursor into the scroll to the end. Okay, so we have one more method that we will see, and then we'll end this class. That's what happens. First, it will scroll by 500 down, then again 200 up, then it has to scroll to the end. Okay, all this would happen. See, because it happened very quickly, like scroll to the down, up, and then end. It went to the end. Now, if I wanted to scroll to particular element, okay, I would like to go to a particular element. Okay, maybe on this website, okay, this .com is there. I would like to click on maybe widgets. I don't want to go to the end or by some pixels because I don't know where these widgets will be. I just wanted to directly go to this element called widgets. Okay, now how to handle this? Let's see. So let me write it directly here. So if you wanted to scroll to an element, you need to again write the JS.execute script. The command that you need to use is okay. So it obviously requires like to which element you wanted to perform. Okay. So arguments of 0 meant like the element to which we wanted to go. Then scroll into view is a method. Okay, scroll into view is a method which will take you to that particular element. Okay. Then you need to provide what is that element. So you have to provide that element. For example, here I would like to go to widget, right? So let's create a web element for widget. First, I'm going to create a web element. Whenever you need to navigate to some element, you need to first create it. So I'm going to create a widget element like driver dot find element by dot xpath. Just assuming xpath. Let's see what it has. So this has a widgets. Let me check. So widgets has let's see widgets. So it has a text called widgets. Okay, it has a tag name called h5. Let's see if this xpath works like h5 of text equal to widgets. The same one, and it's a h5 and it text was something got added here. Like, okay, this is the syntax. Now this element I'm going to first identify. After identified, I would like to go to this element. So I would like to move to this element. So I'm going to write it like a argument of 0, which means like the one that I'm going to give, like widget. So that I'm going to give. So this widget. Okay, so this comma widget, which means it goes to scroll into view means it exactly goes to this widget element. Okay, so widget. Widget here as well. Now let's see if it works. Widget. Right. It's arguments of 0. You're going to check now. Arguments of 0. Yeah, you can see like widget got it scrolled down and then it scrolled down completely. Then again it it went up and it also selected which element it wanted to say. Okay, so that way it actually can navigate to particular web element. Okay, I hope now it makes sense. Discuss very important topic, that is WebDriver Waits. So as of now, if you see, we have written everything like using thread.slip. Like we have used thread.slip whenever we require synchronization, because our browser is opening, then we're trying to perform something, but that element is not loading by that time, right? So we are waiting. We are making our program to wait for some time, like a hard wait. When you give like a 2 seconds, it will hard wait. Like whether even though the element is present, still it waits for the two seconds. Okay, it waits for 2 seconds, then only it will go to the next line. So we had used thread.slip wherever we require the synchronization, but generally thread.slip is not preferred. The reason being, you're waiting 2 seconds, right? So if you see here, we have used for locators, we have used almost 6 times. Okay, which means like 12 seconds of time is we are adding on top of the existing program time. So just think from the test case point of view, like when you develop a test suite, and you're trying to run around 100 plus test cases, and let's assume that each one is giving each one is giving a wait of maybe 30 seconds, okay, for the total test case, because you're not going to have only six or eight steps. In general, you will be having many steps, right? So let's assume that each one is taking 1 minute, then 100 minutes is like more than an hour we are adding on top of the actual execution. So which is like a kind of drawback, right? Because let's assume that you have deployed something, and the build got deployed and they asked you to test it, the regression. Now you have triggered automation script, okay, for the whole 100 test cases. Now if you say like it generally takes 3 hours. On top of that, you have added 1.5 hour more, then it takes 4.5 hours for completing the total shoot. As well, there can be an environmental issue or something, then you would need to rerun it again. While rerunning also, it would increase the time. So it would take like a day. When you say like my automation is taking a day to complete, then basically three types of weights that Selenium is providing. So which actually, when you give some weight, let's say you are saying like I would like to wait for 10 seconds. Now if the object, or if the element is identified in 1 second, then it will not wait for other 9 seconds. Okay, 9 seconds saved, 9 seconds will be saved. So the mechanism of Selenium waits are, it's not like a hard wait. Hard wait means like if you have given 10 seconds, it will go to the next line only after 10 seconds. But here the web element waits are, the Selenium waits, they're providing such a way like if you give something, wait like a 10 seconds or 30 seconds, okay, assume, then after 1 second it is identified, then it won't wait for other 29 seconds. Let's say element identified after 5 seconds. Then it don't wait for, 25 more seconds. It won't wait, which means like whenever, as soon as the element is visible, then it will just move on. It will not wait for a hard wait. So that is the difference between the thread.sleep from the Java and the Selenium waits. Okay, now we'll have a quick look at what are the weights that Selenium is providing, and at which why there are three weights, and where we have to use that we'll see. Okay, so Selenium WebDriver it plays a crucial part of automation, because web pages are dynamical. You see all the web pages are, web elements are dynamic, and element may take time to load. Okay, sometimes you see like an image getting loaded on a Amazon website. Maybe it takes some time to load it. So you have to wait until that image comes in order to perform an operation on it. So you have to wait something like it is appearing, or an alert got disappeared. So you have to wait for such conditions. Okay, so we have three methods. One is implicit wait, other one is explicit, also Fluent wait. Okay, these are the three waits that we have. So first, let's see what is implicit wait. Implicit wait is something that is implicitly available. Implicit means like you don't need to. It's like on the driver it is applicable, which means for each and every element, like you are having a global, like a global wait you are setting up, which means like if you set it up as a 30 seconds, whatever the element that you are interacting, okay, if it is not available, if it is not displayed, then it waits for 30 seconds. Okay, it waits for 30 seconds, all the elements. It's a global wait. Okay, we'll do a program and see like what I meant for. Now the syntax we'll see. So syntax is, because it is applicable at the driver level, which is like total all the elements, we're going to apply this implicit wait on the driver. So under driver you have a method called manage. We had seen, right? For manage, can anyone tell like what is other windows, right? Similarly, we also have methods to timeout. So under timeouts you have this implicitly wait, where you're going to mention how much time you would like to wait. Okay, so this is a syntax. Now we will write a program and try understanding how does this pass. So if it is feasible, you can also create along with me. Okay, but if you wanted to focus on completely on the coding, you can follow me. Okay, so I'm going to give an example like implicit wait example. So the same thing that we do every time, like first you need to create a main method, then you're going to have so then you're going to create an instance of WebDriver, like WebDriver driver equal to new WebDriver, new Chrome driver, right? So because I would like to open the Chrome driver, I'm going to have it a Chrome driver. Now let me open the URL using get command. So driver.get, and you're going to give the thing like the URL. You're going to give driver.get off. In the double quotes, you're going to give the URL. So what is my URL which I would like to open is this, right? So let me give this. Now in order to first click on that element, okay, I would like to remove checkbox. Okay, I would like to click on remove checkbox. In order to do that, what would be requiring first? I would be requiring the web element, obviously, because whenever you need to perform on something, two things that are required. One is the web element, and second thing, what is the action that you need to perform. So let me check this remove. I'm also going to ping it in the chart. So yeah, so if I check the XPath, okay, so I'm checking first. I will obviously look for any ID or class, anything it has. Okay, but I see like it doesn't have any ID or something. The below one, this PID has, but I was actually looking for this button. Okay, this button has no ID, no class name. Okay, no link text as well, because it's not a anchor tag, right? So the only option that I have is going with the XPath. Either I can go with the text or I can go with the attribute. Okay, let me go with the text because it is more reliable. Like remove won't update it, right? So I would like to depend on the remove. Perfect, perfect, Supriya. You're right. So we can go with the remove of text. So let me copy the one that Supriya has pinged. So let me create with this. Okay, so I'm going to create something like remove button. So I'm going to define what is the data type of web element is web element, right? So web element remove checkbox, remove button maybe. Okay. And I'm going remove button and arrived at find element by dot xpath and whatever Supri has pinged, I have given it here. So let me import this by import class. Okay. So I have written like a drive dot find element by dot xpath. Then I'm going to give the xpath, like it's with the double slash tag name text equal to value. Okay, text equal to value, whatever you see that value. Okay, now I need to click on, so I have to use the remove button dot click method. Dot click method I have to use it. Okay, so any questions till this point, especially Pratik, did you understand this code, or do you want me to explain? Because it's your first class, though you have some basics on Selenium.
No, Ravi, I understand.
Okay, great then, great. So after I click this button, I have clicked on remove button. Now what I was trying to do is, like, after clicking on remove button here, after this remove, what is happening is I'm getting a message actually saying like it's gone. Okay, so now there is no remove button is gone and you got a text called it's gone. So I would like to print this text. I would like to actually print this text. So now again I can use some XPath in order to identify this. Okay, so now I would like to print this, like now this has an ID called message, so I can directly go with the ID, right? So I can directly go with ID. Now let me write it. So for this ID is message. Now this text I would like to print it. Now can someone ping me in the chat like what is the method in order to get the text from an element? So I have got an element. First I need to write an element. So I'm writing an element like web element message. Okay, it's a message actually. So drive dot find element by dot ID. I'm going with the ID because I have the ID. Okay, so I have going with the ID and ID name is message. Okay, so I create an element. Now I would like to print it out. So I'm going to use the system.out.println. I'm going to use this method, okay, in order to print the message. So I'm going to say like message is I'm going to write it like right gettext is used, in order to get the thing. Okay, so now let's run this program. So do you think that it will give the output, like what is the output that we get? Immediately we are trying to get the text. Now let's see what will happen. So it has opened the URL. I didn't maximize, but I just clicked on it. I was trying to get it. Now let's see. Actually, you see, it did not print the text. There is no messages in the console. In fact, it has actually given an error. At this line, it is giving an error saying like, what is the error? If you see how to see the error, you have to go to the console, go to the last. Okay, first you need to go to the end, using this button called scroll to end. Okay, you will be generally here, right? You need to click on scroll to end. Now you will be here. Now here you can see like whatever is highlighted in the blue color, that is the culprit, or that is the root cause for the issue. Now you understood 18th line is the issue. Now you need to figure out second thing, what is the issue? Now if you scroll up and see, here there is something like no such element exception with the selector as message. Okay, there is no thing with the message as message. There is no ID with the message, but you have seen like message is correct. The reason is as soon as we are clicking it, we're waiting it. Now let's do one thing. I would like to wait, generally that the way that we know, like, maybe after 10 seconds, I'm writing it. Okay, so I'm waiting for 10 seconds in order to make this sync happen, because I'm assuming like it may be taking 10 seconds of time, and we're getting this way. Okay, now let's see what will happen. It has waited a lot of time, like it has almost waited for 10 seconds, then only it has done it. Okay, so maybe, but if you notice, let me refresh this and click on remove, and if you count like 1 2 3, even within 3 seconds it is coming up, right? So giving 10 seconds is not a good idea. Or if I give like maybe 3 seconds, it might be the case like because of the internet being slow or some other reason, or the load is high, it may take 4 seconds. That time it will fail. So instead of depending on a fixed wait, now I would like to manage it such a way, like, okay, I would like to perform this based on the implicit wait. Now the syntax of implicit wait is driver dot manage dot timeouts. So we are applying because implicit is a global wait. Global means driver. The driver is will be available across, right? So we are managing the driver. What are we managing? So under manage, as you told, there are many things like window is there, cookies, and you can manage cookies or windows. Okay. So you also have a logs and timeouts. You have a timeouts. Now let's go with the timeouts. Under timeouts, you have implicitly wait. So we are saying like, okay, whenever an element is not appearing, then wait for these many time. Okay. Now, if you hover on the implicit wait, or when you control click on the implicit wait, you can see there is a method called implicit wait of duration. So it is actually accepting duration. Okay. So before Selenium 4, we used to have long comma time unit, which where you need to mention the long seconds and what is the time, whether it is a seconds or milliseconds, that you used to mention. But now they have come up, with a new method called implicit wait. The name is same, but the parameter is changing. Okay, this is one of the feature of oops, that is called as a method overloading. Maybe in upcoming class we will discuss about what is method overloading. But you see, this is the latest method in the Selenium 4 that is actually accepting duration. Okay, now let's take this. Now, if I wanted to duration, then you have to write like duration. Okay, because you need to take the class, right? So I'm taking a duration class of the java.time. You can see it's a java.time duration dot. What I would like to wait? I would like to wait for seconds, duration of seconds. How many seconds I would like to wait? Okay, I'm giving 30 seconds. Okay, now I've just given like a 30 seconds. Okay, but let's see whether it is really taking 30 seconds, or maybe let me make it as 100 seconds. Okay, now let's see if it is taking 100 seconds. After that only it is getting executed, or it is just doing it as soon as it identified the element. Okay, now I have made it 100 seconds. Now let me write it. Let me run the program. For explicit wait, right? Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
discuss that explicit wait.
Okay.
That will be the second one. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll
And
discuss all the possibilities that we have. Okay. For the explicit wait. Now you see this program, even though I have given 100 seconds, it actually did not wait for 100. As soon as the element has done, it has actually given. It will be applicable everywhere. Okay, so I think implicit wait is clear, right? Like it doesn't wait the seconds that you give. Even if it is identified within the time, it will be able to do. Okay, let me make it as one now and try running this program. So I'm just waiting only for 1 second and trying to check if it can deal with it or not. Okay, so if that it's gone message comes in within 1 second, then it will work. Otherwise, it will not work, obviously. So let's see. So it has done, but within 1 second it did not load. That's why it got an error. Okay, so now it is always better to give some more weight. It's not like exact weight 3 seconds or 5 seconds. It is always better to go with more weight. Okay, but this driver, if you notice, you are using everywhere. Okay, let's say I wanted to create one more maybe. Okay, I would like to create one more. For maybe the what else you have here, like you have remove checkbox. Now after remove checkbox, you also have a add checkbox, right? Now if I trying to do it for this element as well, so it is available for all the elements. It's not only one; it is available for all the elements. That is why because it is applying on the driver. And
Right.
this driver, you can
So,
use it after add button clicked. Let's say I wanted to print. I think we're printing something, right? After add button got clicked, you are getting now as a checkbox is coming. After coming, you are getting a checkbox. Now, if you write an XPath for this checkbox, okay. Now I'm going to write it for this checkbox. I'm going to see like what is the ID that it has. So this checkbox has ID called a checkbox. Let me quickly write it an element. Web element checkbox. So is equal to driver.find element by checkbox. Then checkbox okay dot is displayed. I'm going to print if it is displayed or is selected, that I would like to print it. Okay, now I'm going to write it as out of. If it is displayed or not, that I would like to print it. So now because I have it already implemented wait, there is no issue. Like you will directly get it. Like whether it is displayed or not, it will print it out. It will print it's a true because after waiting this much time. Okay, I'm actually not clicking here. Let me click as well. So checkbox dot click. I'm going to click, and when I run this program, you can see like it prints because after waiting until that load goes, then it will do that. So first add has come. Then after add, we are clicking on the add button. Are we clicking? I'm clicking on the add button. Then you can see like oh, here I didn't modify. It's fine. I modified now, so it will throw error. But that's okay. I think because the XPath is wrong, it will throw the error. That is fine. Now let's take another case. Now this one, okay, enable or disabled. I'm clicking on enable. Okay, then I would like to perform operation on this. Okay, like after maybe I would like to enter something into this. Okay, now let's try doing this action by using this wait. Okay, so now I'm going to give a wait of maybe 10 seconds. I have given got 5 seconds because I see both of them are loading 5 seconds. Now I need to write it for this. Okay, so let me refresh the page. So enable or disabled, I would like to basically click on enable button. So enable has a button of enable. So I can create, okay. So I'm going to write like a web element. What is that button? Enable, right? Enable button. I want you to write like enable button equal to drive.find element by dot XPath I can go. And the XPath is something this. So XPath, sorry, the XPath is button of enable. Okay, so let me take XPath as button of text equal enabled, right? So let's take this one. Button text equal to enable. So this is the export that I'm going to give. My mouse is not working. Okay. So identified enable, then I'm going to click on enable button. Okay, enable button dot click. I'm going to click on this enable button. Okay. After that, I would like to identify the text box that I have. So for this text box, you also can try meanwhile, because this is something that you know. For text box, there is a XPath called input, and input has okay, input has nothing, but it just has input of type equal to text. Let's see if it is the only one, like input of @attribute equal to value. So what is the value? Text you have, right? So I'm gonna check if this works. Yeah, it is 1 of 1. That means it is fine. Okay, let's take this as an XPath for input element. So I'm gonna create again value element input box. Input box equal to similarly like driver dot find element by dot XPath. I'm gonna go with the XPath. So I hope everyone got a pro in writing XPath by this time. If you have done the assignment, you should be. So I have identified the input box. Now I was actually trying to send keys, okay, into it, like text box, like input box dot send keys. Okay, I'm going to give you like something like Ravi. Okay, now I would like to print it out. No, that's fine. I think I would like to just enter into it. Okay, so if you see here, when it is getting coming, like after clicking enable, okay, I clicked on enable. Then I think it's taking some time, and it's happening, right? So maybe after 5 seconds, maybe it is happening. I would like to do it. Okay, now let's run this. Do you think this program will run? I'm going to comment the other stuff like add and remove. I'm going to comment. So I have given an implicit weight of, here I'm going to give an implicit weight of. I'm going to give an implicit weight of 5 seconds. Or let me make it as a general, like 10 seconds. Okay, let me run this program. So after 10 seconds, I'm trying to enter into it. So it clicked on enable. So this is getting loaded. Now still you got an error. Can anyone guess what is the reason? Okay, the reason is, even though you are waiting until 30 or 40 seconds, what actually you're waiting? This implicit wait ideally waits whether that element is present or not. Okay, so the XPath that we have written this, it is present even though it is enabled or not. Okay, whether it is enabled or not, this will always be present. So it actually waits until this element appears. Okay, now let me refresh this page and search for this. Even though you don't click on enable, still it is available, right? So now the condition is that I don't need to wait until it is available on the screen, but actually it should be enabled, because only when it is enabled, then only you will be able to interact with this, right? So the condition is now you need to, it's like not like you need to wait until something is available. It's something like it should be enabled, like it should be an interactable to perform it. Okay, so this is an issue with the implicit wait, like you cannot have a condition like until something is enabled or some alert has disappeared or some loader icon disappeared. Okay, so those conditions it cannot handle. Now in order to fix that, okay, we are having explicit wait. So now what is explicit wait? Instead of having control over all the elements, explicit wait helps us to work on particular element. Okay, so it gives many methods to wait until some condition met. So what are the conditions that we have? One is alert is present. So this can be used, means like it waits until an alert appears. So when you click on something and immediately you don't need to click on switch to alert and accept. Instead, we will wait until alert comes. For example, I will quickly show you one of the example where you would actually require alert to be present. You need to wait until alert is present. So here there is a wait called on button click, alert will appear after 5 seconds. For example, if I clicked here, you see like it did not appear directly, but if you write like alert dot switch to dot accept, then it will throw an error saying like alert is not there. So when you click on it, it takes 5 seconds to load. Then here the case is how to handle this alert is you have to wait until alert comes, right? Similarly, the other cases are like element selection to be, like it waits until element is getting selected or deselected, or element to be clickable. This is very important because for all the click actions we need to ensure like it is in a position to be clicked. Sometimes it enables after some time, like 2 seconds in Ajax calls. It actually takes, the button takes 2 seconds to load, okay, to actually get enabled. So you have to wait until element is clickable or element to be selected, like the checkboxes you need to wait until that is selectable, or frame to be available. So when you switch to frame as well, when you click on something, maybe the frame gets loaded freshly, then that time you have to wait until the frame comes. Okay, we also discussed about frames, right? So invisibility of element. Invisibility means like on my website, like if you see this loader icon is coming up, right? RSCodeLabs solution, you're getting a loader icon. So I have to ensure like this disappears. I need to wait until this appears. I don't know how much time it would take, but whenever you click on something, I do actually wait until this disappears. Then only I will perform the action. Okay, now this you need to apply to each and every element. It's not like all the elements. Whenever you require particular condition, then only you will be using the explicit wait. Okay, there are many more methods. Before going through it, let's try writing one program and understand, how does explicit wait helps here. Okay, so in the same case, like let me create one more, and I will use the same code. Okay, I will try to do it with the explicit wait now. So I'm going to create explicit wait example. So it will have the same things like main method, and then WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. Then I'm going to open the URL driver.get off. So what is the URL? You have it here. So this is the URL, right? Or has it gone? Okay, no issues. I'll get it from this implicit wait. So this is the URL. Let me copy this. I'm opening this URL maybe after maximizing .manage.window. I'm doing a maximize. Now after this, after going to this URL, I would like to actually use the I would like to actually call this code that I have written. So I'm actually trying to wait. I was actually trying to click something and then immediately trying to enter something. Okay. Now after clicking, I actually wanted to implement the explicit wait. Okay. So for explicit wait, WebDriver wait is the class, which helps us to create the explicit waits. Okay. So everywhere like alerts, you have an alert class. Select, you have a select class, or you have multiple classes to be instantiated, right? For example, in order to deal with JavaScript, you have a JavaScript executor class. Similarly, for WebDriver wait, okay, for this explicit wait, you have a method, you have a class called WebDriver wait. So this is the one which is provided by the Selenium support. So if you get into this, you will understand, it is actually a class from the Selenium. What it does actually, it actually has many methods, like many conditions it has in order to deal with at a level of element. Okay, so now WebDriver wait, I'm going to create an object like WebDriver wait equal to obviously new WebDriver wait. And it actually expects two parameters. When you hover on it, you can see like it is expecting. There are again multiple constructors are there. One of them is driver and the time. You have to definitely mention the driver on which you are you are applying this. Then you have to mention the time, again the duration, like duration of seconds, 30 maybe. Okay, now I'm waiting for 30. So now you see the difference between implicit and explicit wait. Implicit wait, we are actually applying on a driver, like driver.manage.timeouts implicitly wait. Okay, now you just created a wait. Now let's see where are we actually applying. Now this wait, using this object, there is a method called until. Until means like until this point of time. So you have a expected conditions class, expected conditions. If you get into this expected conditions, you can see what are all the expected conditions it has. Okay, like expected conditions of there are URL contains, URL matches, until URL matches, presence of element located, until some element getting located, visibility of element located, like until some element is visible. You have many methods here. Okay, all the things that are required. Now expected conditions, actually I would like to wait. Okay, now I would like to wait until that element uh, is enabled, right? Because I wanted to wait until an element is enabled. So you can write it like enabled, right? So what do you have for enabled? Enability of element located. So that is one that you have. So that until this enabled, you will wait it. Okay. So because that input box right now it is disabled. Now we are waiting until it is enabled. So let's see what are other methods that we have here. Like when you search for expected conditions and check for enabled, you have many methods here. Enabled element to be clickable you have, or something. Okay. So when an element is available to be clicked, can anyone guess like when an element will be enabled to click? Obviously when it is enabled to click. So if it is enabled, it is available to click, that means obviously it is enabled, right? So for example, on this website, I'm going to do like, so this is the example that I was trying to do. This is the website that I have, which I already pinged in the chat. Okay, now here I was actually after clicking this enable button, here it is not clickable until it is enabled, which means I can wait until it is enabled, it is clickable. So I can have a method called, now I would like to wait until element is clickable. So element to be clickable. So this one you can use it. So expected condition is element to be clickable. Which element you wanted to be available until clickable is, what is that you would like to actually trying to click is this one, right? What is that? Input text. So until this input text is available, you are actually waiting this element to be clickable. So you are waiting until this is enabled. So you want to give this here. So element to be clickable is actually expecting, if you hover on it, you can see it is actually expecting a by or a web element. Okay, so first let me write a web element here. So here I have written web element. Now I am waiting until this input box is clickable. Okay, first time it might be confusing, how the syntax it is, but I will explain it again. Okay, so the condition here, the explicit wait condition is first you need to create an object to the WebDriver wait, like using WebDriver wait equal to new WebDriver wait, and you need to mention like how much time it has to wait. Then using this object, you can wait for any condition. Using wait dot until expected conditions. Here you can have any conditions. If I click on dot here, you can see you can wait until visibility of element located, until title is something, until visibility of alert is present. These many things you have. Now I was taking element to be clickable because I know like when it is enabled only it is clickable. So I have taken a condition of an element to be clickable, and what you need to pass, you need to pass the input box. Okay, so that input box you need to provide. Now let's try doing it, and see if it works. So before it did not work because even though it is appearing, because implicit wait only looks whether it is there or not, it doesn't check other conditions like whether it is enabled or not. But now I have implemented explicit wait, which says like it is enabled. So now let's see. So you can see like it worked, it has entered it. Why? Because after clicking it waited until it becomes enabled, then it performed operation on it. Okay, so if not, I will proceed. I'm taking this one more website, okay, one more URL where I'm actually clicking on start button. Okay, and when you click on start button, it is taking some time to load it. Maybe 10 seconds it is taking, then it has showing like a hello world. Okay, now I would like to apply explicit wait. I can also apply implicit wait obviously because because it's only verifying whether text is there or not. But explicit wait because it enables, it allows me to work with only this web element, right? So I would like to use the explicit wait for this. Now I would also like you to guess which method we need to give it for waiting until that element comes. Okay, so first let me create quickly go to this URL. Like if I wanted to go after I given the driver.get, if I wanted to go, I may write it like driver.get again, or you can also use the navigate.to, that is also there, right? Driver.navigate.to URL. To which URL I would like to go? I'm going to give it in the here. This URL I would like to go. After going, what I would like to do, I would like to perform click operation on this start button. So let me check what can be written for start. Start has nothing, like it has ID, but that doesn't help. Button has start, so I will go with the obviously XPath. You see, like many of the times you have to go with XPath because there is no other element. So that's why you should be very, very well versed with the XPath. So I'm going with the XPath of start. So I have given it here. Then it is able to identify. Now let me create quickly a web element. I think it is giving suggestion. Web element start button. Start button with the XPath of this. I have some XPath. Because I have enabled GitHub Copilot, it always gives the suggestions, but I will use part of it and update according to my requirement. Okay, so now I'm going to click on the start button, click, and immediately I was trying to get the text. Okay, so I was trying to get like like text is what I'm getting. Like I obviously need an element for this, for that text. So what the text has. Now let's see, after clicking on start, let's inspect and see the text XPath. So it has something called H4. Okay, it has H4, so let's go with the H4. Also I can go with the ID as well because it is something not clicked. It's only the value that I need to retrieve. I can also go with the ID of finish. Okay, let me go with first I need to create an object for this, like web element finish text equal to driver dot find element by dot. Now I'm going with ID, not with expert. I'm going with ID because it also has ID. So now I would like to get the text. So finish text dot get text. Okay, now I would like to print this one. So let me try running it directly. This one I will comment out because I don't want to. Also, and so okay, now let it be there. It's okay. Let me run this program. I'm not applying any explicit wait. Okay, I'm just trying to directly get the text and see, like, because I already given WebDriver wait for other element. I was just thinking, it may work for this as well. So first it clicked on enable, then after it is enabled, clicked on it. Now after here it is clicking on enable, but you can notice like before it comes, it got failed here. So you can notice that it actually ran because I think it has loaded immediately. Okay, so but if I wanted to apply explicit wait on this because it is taking more time, it has it does it. So let's assume that it is taking more time to load. Okay, that time before getting the text, if I wanted to apply explicit wait, then I have to write like a WebDriver wait equal to, already I have given WebDriver wait as a 30 seconds. Let me use this one only, this instance only. Now I would like to apply it to which one, to finish button. Okay, so now I'm gonna have it like wait dot until expected conditions dot. Now which one I can use, I'm just checking alert to be present, element to be clickable. It's actually visibility, so I would like to actually visibility of element. So I'm going to go with visibility of element. What is element? Finish text. So it means like it waits for 30 seconds for this to appear. Okay, then let me run it. So when it comes to finish text, it checks for 30 seconds if it is enabled or if it is visible or not. If it is not visible, then it will fail within 30 seconds. Within the time itself, like if after 5 seconds it appeared, then it will go with this. Okay, so first I clicked on enable. Then here, okay, then it has come. So it has to print hello world here. You can see it has printed. Okay, so whenever it is required, you can apply these WebDriver weights, and it is applicable to the element. Okay, so whereas implicit weight is something that is applicable only that is applicable across the elements. Whatever the element that you write, you don't need to write this many times. But explicit weight, you have a control over each element until something some condition met. So that is the main difference. Okay, now if I look at the other methods that it has, okay, so what are all other it has is title contains, text to be present, visibility of element. Out of this, mostly you will be using element to be clickable is one. Okay, element to be clickable, which we have used, and visibility of. Obviously, those are the two things, right? But if you're dealing with any alert then or frames, then you will wait until alert comes or until frame is available to switch. So, but you just know all the methods that it has, but you would be using mostly two methods, which is element to be clickable and visibility of. Okay. Now implicit weight is for all the web elements. Once you define that weight is applicable throughout all the elements. And explicit weight is specific to some element. If you wanted to wait and based on the condition, if you want some web element to be weighted, to be operated on it before some condition met, then you will go with the explicit weight. Now, actually, explicit weight, how internally works is every 0.5 seconds, okay, every half second, it actually looks for this condition. Okay, for example, I have this written this code, right? So where actually I was waiting for 30 seconds until this element is clickable. Okay, so each and every half second it checks whether it is clickable or not. It performs that operation and checks like it is clickable or not. If it is clickable, then it will immediately return. If it is not, then it throws the exception. I mean, it actually waits until 30 seconds, then throws the exception. Now this default to polling time, this is called as a polling time. Like if you given 30 seconds, every half second, like 60 times, it actually tries to interact with the element and to check whether it is clickable or not. Okay, now if I wanted to change this, then you need to go for the fluent weight. So fluent weight is more flexible, which internally uses again explicit weight all the methods, but it actually gives few more advantage, like few more things it will give it. Okay, so I'm going to show you what are they. So now you're good with the implicit and explicit weight. Let's see the syntax of fluent weight. It's an advanced form of explicit weight that provides more flexibility. Okay, because it allows you to set a timeout, like you are mentioning like 30 seconds or 60 seconds that you are setting out at a polling interval. Okay, now there is a 0.5 seconds every time it will happen, right? But now it gives you not only the timeout, but also how much time after frequency, like how much time I need to check the condition. First thing that it gives. Second thing is you can ignore exceptions. Like if you are trying to interact with something which is actually not available, then obviously it will throw no such element exception. Or if you're getting timed out, you will get a timeout exception. But if you wanted to ignore that, you don't want your program to stop, but you want your program to continue, then you will go for the fluent wait, because it provides a method called ignoring. Okay, so now the difference between explicit and implicit wait is it's only that you will have an additional property called additional method called polling every, and which gives you like how much time you need to after how much time you need to again try checking the condition, and also you can ignore the exceptions. Okay, now let's quickly write it and see like what is the syntax of it, and we will try understanding how actually it helps. Okay, let me create a class for fluent wait. So fluent wait example. So each and every class should have a main method for us to write the code, and I'm gonna open the Chrome driver using WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. So this everyone know. Now I would like to open the URL. Okay, so I would like to open the URL. Maybe I will go with demo sort website. Let me check this. So maybe I will go with this website, and I will check until this element is clickable. Okay, I'm just taking any simple example, like maybe after I go here, I'm checking this login. Okay, this login until it is clickable, I'm going to wait. Okay, I'm going to do this. So this is a base program that I would like to do it using a fluent wait. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, or better, for example, I will take this one only. Okay, I will take the same website and try to do the same thing with now with the fluent wait. Okay, so let me take this website. So I'm going to go to this website. Okay, now after going, what I need to do. So first I need to create an object for the fluent wait. So for explicit wait, we have seen like WebDriver wait, you have to instantiate like WebDriver wait equal to new WebDriver wait and wait dot until. This is the syntax. Okay, WebDriver wait equal to new WebDriver wait and how much time you're going to mention. Then you have to write like wait dot until what is the condition that you are actually waiting. Now here for defining fluent wait, okay, for setting up fluent wait, you have to instantiate fluent wait. Okay, when I say instantiate, you always need to write like new. Okay, so fluent wait. So fluent wait of what? Fluent wait of where I'm applying. I am applying on the WebDriver. Okay, I'm applying on the WebDriver. This fluent wait, I'm going to create a object called wait equal to new fluent wait. So that way you first need to instantiate the fluent wait. The same way that we did WebDriver wait, here we are actually instantiating Fluent wait. Okay, there what we have written, there we have written like a WebDriver wait equal to, it's the same follow. Okay, we are following the same thing, like new WebDriver wait of, we have mentioned like driver, and then we have provided also the time, driver comma 30, like duration of 30 seconds we have mentioned, right? Duration of seconds of 30. So this is the syntax. Now let's convert this into Fluent wait. Now if I wanted to have a Fluent wait, then I'm going to first create an object for the Fluent wait and mentioning like dot, instead of mentioning time inside the method inside the constructor as a parameter, I have a method here like with timeout. So you have a method called with timeout. So what is the time now? Here I'm going to mention like the same thing. I'm going to write it like duration dot of seconds. Okay, what is the time that you have a 30 seconds wait time you wanted. Now how much time you wanted to, after how much time you would like to check the condition every time. Okay, that is called as polling every. Polling means like I want to check whether it is enabled or not after every 2 seconds until 30 seconds met, which means like 15 times it checks. The advantage of this is, instead of trying to hit it every 0.5 seconds, with the default wait of explicit wait, I'm actually saying like I know like it won't take, it definitely takes minimum of 2 seconds to load. Then I don't need to every time, for 30 minutes like 15 times it will does, right? But when you give two, yeah, when you give 2 seconds, like duration of maybe 5 seconds I give, then only 6 times it will poll, which actually reduces the perform, it actually reduces the time, because you don't need to if you make it as 0.5 seconds, then 60 times it has to perform it for a case where the element is not available. But now I'm reducing it like a 6 times, so that will actually improve the performance, right? So now I'm polling every seconds. I'm also ignoring, I don't want to, whenever it says no such element exception or something, I don't want to halt my program. I don't want my program to be stopped. Instead I would like to handle this. So you're going to mention like exception dot class, which means you are ignoring the class. You are ignoring the exception. Okay. Now just let's take a pause and try and understand the difference. Here you are just setting the time, but here you're not only the time, you're also saying like how much time, or after how much time you would like to, frequency at which it has to check the condition, and also you are ignoring, if any exception comes, then you are actually ignoring it. Okay, so this is the difference between Fluent and explicit. Now the rest all is same. Now if I wanted to wait until this appears, okay, here we have written condition like until this element appears. I'm trying to click on it, right? So let me copy the same thing and put it here. So just to compare, I'm using the same code. Okay. Now for enable button, you have written some XPath and you are trying to click on it. Now on the input box, you are waiting, right? So now instead of WebDriver wait, I would like to use the Fluent wait that I have created. So the Fluent wait is wait, right? So this wait object dot until, now the same thing like expected conditions dot element to be clickable. Obviously, I was actually waiting for element to be clickable, right? So element to be clickable of that input box. So you're going to write the same thing. It's only the difference is instead of default wait and getting exception, you are actually handling this and writing this. So that's the only difference here. Like you have two additional parameters. Now let's try doing this and check whether it is able to enter Ravi or not. Okay. So with this, you will be able to handle, you will be able to give any all the conditions that explicit wait has, because we're using the same expected conditions, right? Now you can see it is waiting until this enabled. Then after it is enabled, you are trying to enter it. Okay.